to the guests today. Distinguished Vice President Zhang Shaogang, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Jiao Yang, a host from China Global Television Network. It's my great pleasure to be here at the second China International Supply Chain Expo, hosted by the CCPIT, to moderate the Healthy Life thematic event. Healthy living is an eternal pursuit of humanity and an important hallmark of social progress.
主题活动将围绕着现代医学科学创新、银发经济和老龄化应对、卫生健康领域国际合作、中医药产业链创新与发展等话题开展研讨。我们下午的这2个小时将分为开幕致辞、倡议发布、主题发言和专题研讨这4个环节。那首先我来介绍一下出席本次活动的领导和嘉宾：中国国际贸易促进委员会副会长张绍刚先生，中国国际商会副秘书长徐良先生，
徐良 Deputy Secretary General of the China Chamber of International Commerce，
宝洁大中华区董事长兼首席执行官徐敏女士
，and the CEO of PG Greater China。
华润39医药股份有限公司董事长邱华伟先生
，Mr. 邱华伟 Chairman of China Resources Central Medical and
荷兰
Pharmaceutical
皇家飞利
Company
浦公
Limited，
司副总裁杨威廉先生
Mr. William Yang Vice President of Royal Philips Netherlands，
GE 医疗中国副总裁陈和强先生
Mr. 陈和强 Vice President of GE Healthcare China，
美国丰雷国际集团总裁王明明女士
Ms. Wang Mingming President of Fengli International Group USA，
仁和药业股份有限公司董事长
Mr.
杨
Yang
潇
Xiao
先生
Chairman of 仁和 Pharmaceutical Company Limited，
华大集团董事副总裁李斌先生
Mr. 李斌 Director and Vice President of BGI Group，
中国家庭报社执行社长换小晶女士
Ms. 换小晶 Executive President of China Family News，
戴德梁行中国区项目及企业服务部总裁魏超英先生。
Mr. Wei Chaoying, President of Project and Corporate
感
Services
谢各位
Cushman
领导、各
Wakefield
位嘉宾
China.
以及
Let
媒
us
体界朋友们的
extend
到
our
来。
gratitude to all the
那现
leaders,
在我
guests,
们
and
掌
friends
声
from
欢
the
迎
media.
中国国
Now
际
let
贸
us
易促
warmly
进委员
welcome
会副会
Mr.
长
Zhang
张绍刚
Shaogang,
先
Vice
生为我们致
Chairman
开
of
幕词，有
CCPIT,
请。
to address the opening. Welcome.
尊敬的各位嘉宾、
Distinguished
女士
guests,
们、先生
ladies
们、
and
朋友们
gentlemen, dear
大家
friends,
下午好。
good afternoon.
非常高兴
It's a
在
pleasure
第2届链博会
to
期
join
间
you all in
与
Beijing
各位新老朋友
for the second
共同
supply
出席
chain expo
今天健康生活主题的活动。
healthy living
首
thematic
先
event.
我仅代表中国国际贸易促进委员会和中国国际商会对各位嘉宾的莅临表示热烈的欢迎和衷心的感谢。当前，世界100年未有之大变局正在加速演进，全球的产业链、供应链也在加速重构。习近平主席指出，维护全球产业链、供应链韧性和稳定是推动世界经济发展的重要保证。多次强调，中国将以实际行动深化产业链、供应链和国际合作。前天下午和昨天上午，李强总理、韩正副主席分别同第2届链博会参展参会代表举行座谈会，出席第2届链博会开幕式，并发表主旨演讲，重申了中国将继续推进高水平开放的坚定决心。 发出了坚定推动产业链、供应链、国际合作、构建开放型世界经济的时代强音。健康是人的生命所系，是人类社会永恒的追求。世纪疫情以来，国际社会前所未有的关注健康、追求健康、维护健康、健康生活离不开健康产业的发展。大健康产业以优美生态环境为基础，以健康产品制造业为支撑，以健康服务业为核心，具有覆盖领域广、产业链长、辐射带动作用大和集聚效应强等特点，是全球最具增长潜力的战略新兴产业之一。近年来，以 AI 大模型为代表的数字科技，以基因技术为代表的生物科技蓬勃兴起，数字健康与医学服务交互发展，医药、医疗、养老等领域催生一批新技术、新产品、新服务，逐步构建起以人为本的全业态、全方位、全生命周期的大健康生态体系，正成为创新合作的新高地。本届链博会延续去年的做法，设置健康生活链展区，展区分医疗健康、品质生活、健康人居、中华精品4个板块，展示从出生到养老的大健康生态圈，集聚华润、云南白药、记忆医疗、宝洁、星巴克、阿斯利康等一批世界500强及行业龙头企业参展，欢迎大家更多的去现场进行观展交流，发掘合作商机，收获务实成果。今天我们主办此次主题活动，旨在搭建大健康领域政产学研高水平的交流平台，希望大家深入研讨，畅所欲言，围绕科技、赋能医疗、健康产业国际合作等议题发表真知灼见，为行业内外贡献一场思想盛宴。稍后，我们还将发布共促大健康产业协同发展的倡议，广泛凝聚行业共识，为提升世界人民健康福祉贡献链博力量。我们也期待龙头企业发挥带头作用，深化健康生活链、供应链合作，在实现企业自身发展的同时，为广大消费者带来健康美好的生活体验。女士们、先生们、朋友们，作为中国最大的全国性贸易和投资促进机构，中国贸促会长期以来致力于推动健康生活领域的国际合作。我们推动成立了中国国际商会医药健康产业委员会，举办2025中国国际博鳌女性大健康新兴产业大会等经贸活动，助力各国工商界加强健康生活领域的交流合作。下一步，我们将继续发挥联通政企、联通内外、畅通供需的功能，搭建高质量平台，提供全方位服务，助力广大企业构建更加紧密的产业链、供应链合作伙伴关系，为推动共建人类卫生健康共同体注入新的活力。最后，预祝今天的主题活动
wish this event great success. Thank you.
谢谢
Vice Chairman Zhang. The CCPIT, as China's largest trade investment promotion agency, plays a pivotal role in driving high-quality trade development. In his speech, Vice Chairman Zhang highlighted that the health industry is one of the world's most promising strategic emerging industries, becoming a new frontier for innovation and cooperation. The health industry is a significant driving force behind social progress and economic development. Promoting the high-quality development of the health industrial chain, improving resource allocation, building a robust supply chain, and safeguarding the well-being of people are of paramount importance. To respond to the call of the times, the exhibitors are jointly launching the joint initiative for promoting the collaborative development of the health industry, Healthy Living Chain exhibitors at the second China International Supply Chain Expo. This initiative is spearheaded by China Resources Group and co-launched by others including Novo, Sanofi, Philips, GE Healthcare, AstraZeneca, Starbucks, Winner Medical. So it highlights its profound significance. The initiative aims to leverage the platform to strengthen communication among upstream, midstream, and downstream enterprises. Strength to human health. Now, let us warmly welcome Resources Sanjiu Medical and Pharmaceutical Company Limited to interpret, explain the initiative, and officially launch the initiative. Welcome. Distinguished guests and colleagues, with the growth of the global economy and with demographic changes, healthy living and longevity have become the common aspiration of people worldwide. Establishing a healthy living industrial chain is the key support. In the times of opportunities and changes, to achieve the high-quality development of industrial chain, we need the concerted efforts of upstream, midstream, and downstream players. Only by pooling wisdom and strength can we better safeguard the health of our people. Today, it is my honor to represent the China Resources Group, together with our exhibitors, to promote the following initiatives. First, closer collaborative innovation to promote multidimensional development, efficient platform for exchanges through information sharing, resources integration. We improve the efficiency of the industrial chain, and we establish a long-term mechanism of mutual benefit so as to lay a foundation for our longer-term development. Second, we need to build a more diverse ecosystem. Through upgrading and resource sharing, we shall build a distinctive ecosystem of the health industry. Let us work together to build clusters of global competitiveness, promoting areas like AI, digital health care, sports care, maternity care, etc. We shall also make inroads into grey economy and foster new quality productive forces. Third, we need to release vitality of innovation to empower industrial development. We need to promote model innovation, explore new technologies and new business formats. Based on advanced manufacturing industries, we promote the digital transformation of the industry so as to improve its efficiency. We also integrate resources and share outcomes so as to better promote innovation. In technological empowerment, we will launch demonstration projects so that our health industry can develop better force. We need to promote international partnership, enhance international partnership, and organize health industry, the globalized development of the health industry, and global transfer transfer of technologies and
create new models for financial cooperation so as to reshape the supply and industrial chain for the trade organizations to organize seminars and promotion events together. By combining the advantages in the East and the West, we should explore the Greater Bay Area as well as the free trade zones and experimental areas to promote the integrated development of the house industry. Fifth, we should boost the security, transparency, and standardization of supply chain in the house industry as well as the standardization in the health and pharmaceutical industry so as to ensure the safety of products and to contribute to the reliability and the resilience of the health industry, to build a transparent management system for supply chain to increase the reputation and the reliability of this industry. Six, we should build sustainable development so that as well as the green transformation of the health industry to build a green supply chain to increase the awareness of the public, a green lifestyle, as well as to shape a culture of a green lifestyle among the citizens to facilitate more people to be involved in the sustainable way of life, to implement the social responsibilities, to build an eco-friendly and a sustainable supply chain to contribute to the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. Focusing on extensive consultation, cooperation, and win-win, we aim to promote the development and improvement of competitiveness of the big health industry so as to contribute to the wisdom of our industry to the mankind. Thank you. Mr. Chu. Now we are going to get started with the session for keynote speeches. Firstly, let's welcome to the floor Ms. Xu Min, chairwoman of the board and CEO of P&G Greater China, to deliver the keynote speech. Distinguished officials and guests, good afternoon. It gives me a great pleasure to represent P&G at the second China International Supply Chain Exposition to join the other stakeholders and partners to attend today's thematic event on healthy life. We are from this sector providing daily necessities to the citizens, and a healthy and fulfilling life is what consumers aspire to, and has been P&G's unwavering promise to the consumers since in our history, and also over the last 36 years since P&G entering the Chinese market, how we are able to provide high-quality products, good user experience, and how our products can be provided and reached, and how the products can reach out to the more than 1 million consumers in China. This is actually the starting point and the purpose for the development of our products, from skincare to fabric hygiene, and every category and every brand of P&G in China is dedicated to serving consumers at all stages of their life, contributing to their healthy life and a better life and a more enjoyable life. And we have adhered to the consumer insights and also innovation as the driving force, constantly delivering high-quality products with tangible value, including emotional value, to meet the evolving aspirations of Chinese consumers for a healthy lifestyle. If we take Head & Shoulders, P&G's first brand in China example, in 1988, so we have made a decision to make Head & Shoulders the first brand to be promoted in China. It has been evolved and contributed to the scalp health of the consumers, and we have iterated and improved the products constantly. And this happens to all the brands that we are operating in China. We do not only provide high-quality products. It is also important for us to roll out or to increase the awareness of a healthy life and a healthy lifestyle. With our products, we are able to penetrate into the 1 billion households in China, which is also one of the social responsibilities of our company over the last decades. With our increasing impact, we are advocating for different R&D and process improvement in different sectors over the last 36 years. We have the Safeguards campaign providing health to all families, as well as CRESS Smile program, and we work with NHC to contribute to improving scalp health with head and shoulders. The purpose is to have a better and a healthier life for the consumers. And we also believe that by providing premium products to our consumers and advocating for a healthy lifestyle, we are able to work together to contribute to the high-quality development of the industry. And we are well aware of the challenges we are faced with. What we need is this high-quality and sustainable development of the industry. And all the stakeholders and the partners are built on this cornerstone. We hope to see the productive competition and the sustainability in the industry. Supply chain is not just the responsibility of one player in the market. Over the last 36 years, we have worked with a large number of partners, and we have 60,000 partners in the world and 500 in China. So without them, we don't have P&G, and of course, without P&G, they are not able to enjoy good development. Therefore, each partner is important for us. We coexist and we develop together. So 36 years ago, when we entered China's market, we are dedicated to the development of the supply chain in China. And with Gartner's basis in China, we make use of the global system and the technology at the same time. We are very lucky that in this booming ecosystem of supply chain in China, we are able to build a complete, matured, as well as ever-evolving and upgrading ecosystem of supply chain in China. We own 8 factories and more than 20 distribution centers in China. So we have a network with a radius of less than 200 kilometers away from our consumers. And in this smart upgrading, we are also driving forward to become a partner and a part of this system. And we have two factories as the lighthouse factories of the WEF. Therefore, it is an important cornerstone of our business. And in our development, P&G has been developed. We are very glad to participate in and work with our partners along the supply chain to grow together. And today, the purchase rate of materials from the local market is well over 90%. And we are able to help domestic suppliers to become models for quality, reliability, innovation, and leadership. And also, we support the Chinese suppliers in expanding into international markets. According to the statistics, P&G's suppliers in China export over 10 billion RMB worth of goods annually through P&G's global operations, creating broader development opportunities for stakeholders involved. There is an old saying in China, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk alone, walk together. In face of the challenges, only by building a more efficient, more reliable community of supply chain, we are able to make the industry and the players to enjoy better and healthier development. This morning, with virtue of this precious platform of the Expo, P&G released the strategy and the plan for the supply chain value with 3 keywords: innovation, prosperity, and green. We believe that the core of this supply chain value community is to serve the Chinese consumers. The foundation is from innovation of products and technologies and collaboration models. The aim is to make creations for our own business as well as to create added values to the industry. and contribute to the prosperous development of the business. Therefore, we would like to start with the sustainable and the green development to make our due contributions to the sustainable development of the country. Therefore, innovation, green, and prosperity are the three keywords for PNG in this year's exposition. And through the whole process, innovation, resource sharing, data sharing, and the synergy idea with the whole picture in mind, we would like to connect with the partners on the upstream and downstream to create values for consumers, for businesses, and the society. And this aligns closely with the core principles of the joint initiative for promoting collaborative development in the health and wellness industry, launched by CCPIT. Such efforts require the collective participation and collaboration of all enterprises to create greater value for consumers, industries, and the markets. Lastly, I would like to express my gratitude to CCPIT and the Supply Chain Expo again for providing such an international platform, and we would like to join hands with all the players in the market to promote the prosperous development of the supply chain and the industry so that we can work together toward a healthier and more fulfilling life for Chinese consumers. Thank you. Let's work together. Thank you, Madam Jasmine Xu. Now I would like to invite to the floor again Mr. Qiu Huawei, Chairman of China Resources Sanjiu Pharmaceutical Corporation, to share his insights on building dreams together and connecting the future with chains. Distinguished Vice President Zhang Shaogang, dear leaders, experts, and colleagues from the industry, good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to join you in Beijing at the Expo. On behalf of China Resources Group, I'm honored to participate in the thematic event on healthy life at the second China International Supply Chain Expo. I would like to express my gratitude to CCPIT, the event organizer, the China Chamber for International Commerce, for creating this platform for exchange among global guests from the government, industry, academia, research, application sectors of the health industry. Together, we uphold the principle of win-win cooperation to explore the cooperative opportunities for the development of supply chains in the health industry. During the 14th Five-Year Plan period, China's economic and social development is focused on high-quality growth, and the health industry has entered a new stage of high-quality development. The Central Committee of the CPC and the State Council attach great importance to the development of the big health industry, introducing a number of policies to drive the construction of a modernized system and guiding the health development of the supply chain in the industry. And at the same time, consumer health demands are shifting from treatment to a diverse range of needs, including prevention, wellness, and rehabilitation. This rapid release of potential in the health consumption market raises higher expectations for innovation. And the China Resource Group is committed to thoroughly implementing and standing the spirit of the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee, as well as the decision of the CPC Central Committee on further deepening reform and promoting Chinese modernization, guided by the goal of building a China Resources featured state-owned capital investment company and a world-class enterprise. The group focuses on two business directions, major national livelihoods and a major national equipment. To this end, the group has undertaken 4 key transformations in value business organization and spirit, while enhancing 6 major capabilities: fundraising, investment management, industrial development, management supervision, industry access, and shared services. We shaped the distinct 1-2-4-6 model of the group, with enhancing supply chain resilience and security as a top priority. The group aims to improve the flexibility and the reliance of supply chains, strengthen the capacity to safeguard strategic materials, high-tech products, and core technologies, and create a safe and stable, agile supply chain. As an integral part of China Resources Group, health sector, Sanjiu aligns with the group's overall strategy and focuses on building the supply chain based on emerging trends and the health industry. From the practice and explorations of Sanjiu, there are 3 key features. First, closer collaboration and innovation with more diverse partnership to meet consumers' health needs across their entire life cycle. An increasing number of health and wellness enterprises are joining forces with upstream and downstream partners, third-party logistic providers, and technology service providers to build strategic comprehensive supply chains, upholding the principles.
We conduct joint industrial collaboration and technological innovation. We are gradually forming industrial chains with stronger innovation capabilities and a higher added value. Second, greater supply chain transparency. The health industry is actively embracing new quality productive forces, leveraging AI, IoT, and big data. By implementing real-time data collection and end-to-end tracking, companies can gain a more accurate understanding of each link in the supply chain, break down information silos. This enables end-to-end supply chain visibility. Third, more flexible supply chains to meet consumer demands comprehensively, and drive supply chains to shift from being supply-driven to demand-driven. Supply chains are continuously improving their support and rapid response to cater to emerging fields such as senior health, TCM, and health and beauty. This will ensure seamless integration across the entire chain, from R&D and innovation, production and manufacturing, and brand building to end-user services. The high-quality development of the health supply chain relies on government top-level design. The policy support, the broad participation of upstream, midstream, and downstream enterprises, and also academic contributions from research institutions. For many years, China Resource Center, with strong support of our partners, have promoted the modernization of supply chains. Moving forward, we will gather the collaborative strengths of different parts to create a shared, innovative, and sustainable supply chain ecosystem. On one hand, establish multi-party collaboration mechanism to strengthen the supply chain ecosystem. China Resources Center is bringing together upstream and downstream and ensure data interconnectivity, information sharing, and collaborative growth. We have also developed data models. By analyzing factors such as the scale of upstream and downstream operations, delivery efficiency, and logistics costs, the system uses algorithms to provide real-time recommendations so as to meet consumer needs with high quality and efficiency. On the other hand, adopt advanced technologies to enhance supply chain standardization. We use IoT, big data, and AI to empower product information and financial flows within the supply chain. By focusing on key products and production lines, the company is advancing intelligent manufacturing, aiming to become a leader in intelligent manufacturing models. In 2022, China Resources Center became the first pharmaceutical company in China to pass the high-level assessment for intelligent manufacturing capability. Lastly, build a green supply chain to promote sustainable development. While pursuing economic benefits, it's essential to integrate dual carbon goals into all aspects of what we do. We will accelerate the exploration of pathways for achieving carbon peak and neutrality in the health industry. The company improves its sustainable development system, establishing a working group and developing the net zero carbon emissions park. Advancing the green and low carbon transformation, we aim to set a benchmark and foster green competitiveness. Let us build bridges of cooperation through coordinated development and craft a shared success story. Together, we can accelerate the modernization of the health supply chain and make greater contributions to the health in China and the happiness and well-being of people around the world. I wish this grand event great success. Thank you.
邱先生。接下来我们有请皇家荷兰皇家飞利浦公司副总裁杨威廉先生为我们分享 Making the World Healthier and More Sustainable.
Is making the world healthier and more sustainable.
Thank you very much for this invitation. My name is Jan-Willem Schijgrond. I'm head of government and public affairs globally. And it's a pleasure to be here to talk about making the world healthier and more sustainable. I want to take you through our mission as a healthcare company that is improving people's lives throughout the world and looking at it from the patient perspective and the customer perspective all the way down into our supply chain. And to do that, I first need to go back in time a little bit. Philips was created 130 years ago by Gerard Philips, who had a brilliant idea on how to make light bulbs better. He was the innovator. His brother Anton was the entrepreneur, the businessman. And his father Frederik was the banker. He gave a loan to Gerard and Anton to create Philips. Today, a successful company is a company that innovates, that takes risks and has an entrepreneurship mindset, but also has the capital to strengthen and invest into its innovation, like we do. We still invest 10% of our turnover in innovation. And you do that, of course, up and down the supply chain. Our mission throughout the 130 years has always been about improving people's health and well-being through meaningful innovations. How do we have innovations that really have a meaning in the day-to-day lives of our customers, of our patients? And we have said our mission needs to be measurable. How do we hold ourselves accountable to the public, to everybody, that they know that we are really, really investing in their health? So we said we aim to improve the lives of 2.5 billion people by 2030, all over the world. Also in China. Now, we've been in China for almost 40 years. Next year, we'll celebrate 40 years in China. And we are fully localized in our production, in our research, in our partnerships. And we focus our efforts together with our partners on innovating, knowing that healthcare faces a couple of constraints, a couple of challenges that we really can only tackle if we do that together. First of all, we know that the future of healthcare is shaped by the global resource constraints. Not enough money in the healthcare systems, not enough people in the healthcare system that can provide care. Resource constraints. We face an aging population. We'll talk about that later today, the silver economy. But this aging population is also increasingly sick. It carries multiple chronic conditions that need continuous care for a long period of time. Thirdly, what we see is that consumers are taking more interest into their own healthcare. There's all kinds of wearables, the internet. People know when there's something wrong, and they want to measure, and they want to take control, and they want to be an active participant in their own healthcare journey. Now, all of this can be addressed by digitization. They sometimes say that healthcare is the last sector in the world to go digital. The healthcare sector is also the sector that has the biggest amount of data of all sectors in the world. But somehow we cannot convert that data into knowledge, into decision-making of that doctor instantly, or that nurse, or that patient. So our biggest challenge is convert all that data out there to turn it into knowledge and help physicians, nurses, and patients take responsible decisions. So therefore, Philips invests into technology and digitization, and we're now the biggest digital health company in the world. Now, in healthcare, every innovation that we do with our suppliers, with our research partners, with our universities, with our hospitals, is about these 4 elements to make sure that we guide innovation in the right direction. Innovations always have to result in better health outcomes. and it always has to be at a lower cost to society. Today, healthcare represents 7% of GDP in China. It's about 12% in the Netherlands. And in some part of the world, it's almost 20%. We cannot sustain a development where healthcare continues to grow in GDP. So we need to provide better care at a lower cost. But very important to Philips in the design and how we work and co-create is that we also improve the patient experience. No patient enjoys going to a hospital. Everybody is afraid. So how can we change that journey that they are less afraid? They're never going to be happy, but they should be more comfortable. So the patient experience is important. But also staff experience. Also in China, we see burnout symptoms of caregivers, of radiologists, of nurses. We need to also make sure that the journey for the doctor and the nurse is better. So with these 4 elements, we're guiding all our innovations. But I want to introduce a 5th element that we've also seen today at this exhibition, sustainability. It's critically important. So Philips, from its onset, we have always been about how do we protect the environment, how do we protect the people. In 2023, we reported the following outcomes on our environmental performance. I want to highlight a few elements. One of them is our focus on green products. We've set ourselves the goal that in 2025, 95% of our products should be aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. They should be green products. So last year we already had 70% of our portfolio classifying as green, environmentally green. Now you cannot do that alone. You need to work with your supply chain, sometimes your first tier, your second tier, to get those improvements in energy efficiency, in material use, in productivity. The other thing I want to highlight is the net operational carbon footprint. Since 2020, we have already been carbon neutral. Now, I think any company can be carbon neutral if they set their mind to it. And I would like to challenge you, and I've seen a lot of companies around here that are carbon neutral. It is possible to be carbon neutral today. And ask yourself, if you're not carbon neutral, what's holding you back? It's not China. Last year, in Jiangsu, we agreed with a renewable energy supplier to supply Suzhou and a number of our suppliers fully with renewable energy for the next 5 to 10 years. And we have these agreements in place all over the world. But there's a lot happening in China. So it's not only allowed us to be carbon neutral, but that's the 3rd element I want to show you. We've asking our suppliers to be carbon neutral as well, our scope 3 if you like. Last year, 46% of all our suppliers in the world have agreed to sign up to science-based targets in terms of reducing the impact we have on the climate to 1.5 degrees. And so many of those suppliers are also in China, and we're working with them to improve the energy efficiency, to switch to renewable energy, or to replace the products and the materials so they carry a lower environmental burden. Now I want to switch to the patient perspective. I started my speech with the patient perspective. If we take the patient perspective, the patient also has a carbon footprint, a carbon journey, if you like. And we could measure for every patient, what is your carbon footprint when you go through the healthcare system? Now, if you go through the healthcare system, you might want to start with a Chinese traditional medicine consultant, with your local physiotherapist, with your local doctor, and then you get referred throughout the healthcare chain, maybe all the way to the tertiary hospital. And what we measured at Philips is that the highest carbon footprint per patient is actually in the central hospital. So what this means is that we need to make sure that hospitals become greener. And in fact, the Dutch and the Chinese government are working together in a partnership to reduce the carbon footprint of Chinese hospitals. But what it also means is that maybe you want to push the healthcare more towards the communities, closer to the communities, because that's where you have the lowest carbon footprint. But guess what? That's where people want to receive healthcare. So it's the place where you want to be if technology would allow you. It's the place where you should be because of the carbon footprint. If we look at the hospital to start out with, how are we decarbonizing healthcare? We're working on better planning, combining diagnostics and treatment, and you'll see some of that on our booth. Task shifting, that is where you ask the doctor to change some of the functions to the nurse and maybe to the patient so that they can do it themselves. And also, of course, next generation medtech, as was already alluded to, AI, digitization. And a lot can be done in the hospital, and we're working with hospitals to do that. But the future really is, as I showed you, more community-based care, closer to the patient, closer to where the people really want to be. And the future of healthcare brings together a number of innovations, design principles, and sustainability principles that are going to fundamentally change the way that we receive care around the world. This is an example of helium-free mobile MR. We're the first in the world to have changed helium, which is an environmental problematic gas. It's ending, it's finite. And we've replaced it. We've taken it completely out. We've also made it mobile. So you can put it in a truck so it can go to the communities. And what this does, it moves the care from the hospital to the community by bringing the best technology to the community and not keeping it in the hospital. It is enabled by technology and AI, and it's environmentally sustainable. That's the future of healthcare, and we have only been able to do this by innovating with Chinese partners, with global partners, in China, for the rest of the world. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Schweihund.
And our next speaker is from Yunnan Baiyao Group, Madam Li Jia, who is the Director of Branding at Yunnan Baiyao Pharmaceutical Corporation, to share with us the whole chain of traditional Chinese medicine, improving health and quality. Distinguished leaders, guests, delegates, and the platform of Supply Chain Expo. It gives me great pleasure to have this opportunity to represent Yunnan Baiyao and our Vice President, Mr. He Tao, to make this presentation. And I'm very glad to see that. And also look forward to your suggestions. As a company with a history of 122 years and a company with resilient and sustainable development, we'd like to take the opportunity of the expo to share with you the whole supply chain of TCM and enabling high-quality health care for people. So I am very delighted to have this opportunity to attend today's event in this early winter time to share with you the practices of Yunnan Baiyao Pharmaceutical Corporations for the whole chain development. With a history of 122 years, Yunnan Baiyao has won the care and support from government departments, partners, and our users. From the oral health, scalp health, and TCM, we have developed a whole range of industrial chain and clusters covering seed, plant, cultivation, processing, and etc. And I'm going to share with you that how we are able to transform the resource endowment into industrial advantages. And we have developed the well-recognized products trusted by the users and the clients over the past century, building on our headquarters in Yunnan to develop the advantage of Yunnan province. The brand value of the company has already ranked number 25th. Over the last 3 decades since its listing, we have realized a growth of 73 times, and I also believe the colleagues and partners can perceive the changes that we made in our supply channels and our user groups. Actually, we are also under a lot of stress, but we have won the recognition from our users, the support from the government authorities. Therefore, in Q3 this year, we had a revenue and a profit, both of which have realized a positive growth, and I would like to express my gratitude to your support to Yunnan Province and Yunnan Baiyao Pharmaceutical Corporation. And Today, my presentation is divided into 3 parts, and I'm going to share with you the chain of healthy life of Yunnan Baiyao. The first is the high-quality TCM chain to build a lifeline for people. Yunnan is the hometown of TCM, as well as the homeland for different species and animals benefited from the climate conditions in Yunnan. Therefore, we have the planting, cultivation of TCMs altogether 6,500 types. And in the bulk trading of TCMs, we account for 10 of them. And headquartered in Yunnan, we focus on the local pharmaceutical materials in the development of our products and the service. There is a old saying that without the medicines from Yunnan, there is no medical industry. We rely on our local TCM resources. We're able to develop from our 3 factories, from the farmland to the standardized selection of raw materials, to the 3rd sector, the development of personal care products for the users. And we have developed a vertical system on the standardization and the scaled and digitalized development. We have built a 1+N service system, and we also make use of each product to empower the farmers with a planting scale of 1 billion. And we also integrated into the whole life cycle development of the TCM industry. And this is also one of the solutions we provide. And in the second part, I would like to report to the delegates, officials, and friends from media is the innovation chain. As a TCM manufacturer, we are also organizing and planning our AI empowerment development. We are driven by 2 engines, from R&D to digitalization. We have developed the chains for marketing and for the markets and services. From the AI-assisted drug development, for example, like the TCM raw materials, we use AI to identify the color, the ingredient, the origin, and the grade, automatically to build a standardized grading system, which will also be applied for other ingredients and raw materials of Yunnan TCM. And this year, we are very privileged to be the first TCM large model creator, Lei Gong. Therefore, we are able to have a Q&A as well as the AI-assisted consulting services rendered by this AI system. And this system is also used for our retail system. Because of our R&D, digital development, and service development, we have formed integrated new productive force. We are able to do this. And in the third part, I would like to share with you the health chain. We start from the user application to address the pain points of our users to co-create a better life. We also worked with China Resource Sanjiu and PNG and other partners. They have provided us with a lot of inspirations. In the early development stage, we are also making positive contribution as a TCM product manufacturer to the health and well-being of the citizens. And as we know, the release of a product is the result of our collaboration with our users. So far, Yunnan Baiyao has developed a whole set of product and service system with prevention, treatment, product and service, and rehabilitation. In terms of R&D and after-market services. We are also a leader in the industry to release the innovative model of management for trauma and pains for no matter it's teenagers or the silver-haired groups. They suffered from some chronic pains, and we have around 300 million patients with chronic pains. Pain is something that is difficult for the patients. Therefore, we work with community organizations and a specialty department in hospitals. And we also provide our products and work with the clinics in villages and communities to serve our clients and users, to provide them with the knowledge of treatment and management of chronic pains. And in the future, we will make a continuous innovation of our products and the service, leveraging TCM as a part of our better life and well-being. And today, I shared with you the above mentioned three aspects of the practices of Yunnan Baiyao. And on this important platform of Supply Chain Expo, I shared with you the responsibilities of Yunnan Baiyao, from the farmland to the plant of production to the products used by the clients. We are also working with R&D institutions such as the Academy of Agricultural Sciences, as well as government departments, universities, and research institutes to improve our innovative abilities. We are aware of our own social responsibilities. As a Chinese company, we are headquartered in Yunnan, which is also an important node along the Belt and the Road to connect with ASEAN countries. And we would like to make our due contribution to create a community with with shared health for all, as well as to contribute the strength and the wisdom from the sector of TCM. Here, I would like to express my gratitude and extend my invitation to all of you to visit us in Yunnan province and visit Yunnan Baiyao Pharmaceutical so that we can join hands for a better future.
谢谢李佳女士。
Thank you, Madam Li Jia. Now, please join me in welcoming Mr. Chen Heqiang, Vice President of GE Healthcare China, to deliver a keynote speech entitled Creating Boundless Medical Care, GE Medical Innovation Practices. Distinguished leaders and guests, it gives me great pleasure to have this opportunity to share with you the practices of GE Healthcare, as well as the development, as well as the innovations made at the company. And GE Healthcare is an independent listed medical technology. It is also committed to local development in China. From the creator, Mr. Edison, as well as the 5 Nobel laureates in the history of GE, from the first X-ray machine for medical purpose to the innovative creations in the healthcare industries, were able to see the heritage of GE Healthcare over the last 3 decades. We are building the supply chains and industrial chains and our ecosystem. We are in Beijing, Tianjin, Shanghai, Wuxi, Chengdu, Shenzhen. We have developed 6 production sites and 3 innovation centers. In Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, the Yangtze River Delta, and the Chengdu, Chongqing, and the Greater Bay Area, we developed 3 core centers with a procurement volume of over 10 billion RMB, contributing to the development of over 1,000 suppliers in the upstream and downstream. And we also contributed to the development of 160 refined, precise, innovative companies, little giant companies, and high-tech companies. And we have also promoted dual circulations at home and abroad. So the development of supply chain of GE Healthcare in China, which is the earliest, one of the earliest supply chains deployed by GE, here we have witnessed how governments have stepped up their commitments as well as the efforts made by the government departments in improving the business environments.
Here, taking advantage of the country's wide range of industries, we have developed a cluster of the world's most resilient suppliers. Here we have created the country's first lighthouse factory for medical devices, certified by the Global Economic Forum and McKinsey. Here we pool global wisdom and domestic innovative resources to launch the first high-end spectrum digital PET-MR, high-end spectrum 256-row CT and PET CT in China. So we're at the front of precision medicine. Here, we have taken the lead in completing the conversion to green power with more than 95% of renewable materials used, reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 27% over the 3 years. And in Beijing, Tianjin, and Shanghai bases, we have grown to become local champions in the export of medical devices. So as a medical technology company, we fully understand that health is essential for a happier life, while disease is the common enemy to us all. Globally, 20 million people die of cardiovascular disease, 10 million of cancer, and over 6 million of diabetes. And every year, 6 million people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. In China, due to accelerated aging, these problems have become more serious. How to solve the management of major and chronic disease management and improve the accessibility of healthcare is a common challenge faced by the global healthcare industry. As President Xi said, the most important weapon for mankind to fight against disease is science and technology. Therefore, scientific and technological innovation and new quality productive forces are core to solve the challenges of diseases. China has the world's best resources in medical science and education. Just in the past 5 years, through the complementary strength and collaborative innovation of Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, the Yangtze River Delta, the Greater Bay Area, and Chengdu, Chongqing, we have achieved a lot of results. For example, 1 out of every 2 MRIs in the world is made in Tianjin, 2 out of every 3 CTs are made in Beijing, and 1 out of every 2 ultrasound equipment is made in Wuxi. In the 45-year plan, we have started a new layout of innovation chain extension, building a new industrial ecosystem of 1 circle and 3 centers around innovation center, manufacturing center, service center, and supply chain ecosystem. We provide whole chain solutions. In the meantime, to build an innovation center, manufacturing center, and the service center, we have established a very sound layout to better serve the Healthy China strategy. Every 0.01 second, a patient in the one world enjoys benefits from equipment from China. Time has proven that China has a stable and resilient supply chain of medical services, which is a boon to patients. The Supply Chain Expo is a communication and cooperation platform for us all, and it's a new window to build and promote high-level opening up. GE Healthcare will take advantage of this platform to give full play to the advantages of our global and Chinese supply chain, develop new quality productive forces, assume our responsibilities, and drive high-quality development. Health is a foundation for a happy life. Let us work together to create medical care for everyone in the world. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chen. And thank you once again all the guest speakers for sharing with us your ambitions and your experience. I will tell you that after this event will be the CCOIC Pharmaceutical and Healthcare Industry Committee event. Welcome, stay tuned. And let's move into the next session. We will move into the thematic discussion, focusing on industrial development, supporting the elderly care, and exploring the new opportunities of the silver economy. This session will be moderated by Ms. Huan Xiaojing, Executive President of China Family News. But before I pass mic, I would like to introduce to you the guests. They are Ms. Wang Mingming, President of Wenjue International Group, Mr. Yang Xiao, Chairman of Renhe Pharmaceutical Company Limited, Ms. Wei Chaoyin, President of Project Corporate Services and Cushman & Wakefield China, and Mr. Li Bin, Director and Vice President of BGI Group. Let us welcome the guests to the stage. Thank you very much for the kind introduction by Ms. Xiao. It's such a pleasure to meet you at the thematic event on healthy life of the Supply Chain Expo and discuss how we can better cope with population aging. According to relevant authorities, by far, the number of people aged over 60 in China is close to 300 million. So it's a huge number. Since 2023, the National Health Commission, in collaboration with other platforms, has organized an awareness campaign about aging society. And in this activity, through our research, we have identified, and there's one thing very clear. Our elderly people, when improving their well-being, not only rely on family care, but also on social support and on national and social efforts. Through a smooth supply chain, we can make steady progress in the implementation of elderly care policies. This is why silver economy has become a new growth driver. Just as the previous speakers mentioned, aging is a problem that we must deal with. So how can we better tap on the potential of the silver economy and provide support for the elderly people? I think it's an important topic for us. So first of all, the pharmaceutical industry is an important sector. So I would like to invite Mr. Yang Xiao, Chairman of Renhe Pharmaceutical Company Limited. Could you share with us how we could improve the quality of life for elderly people and promote industrial integration through the opportunities of silver economy? Thank you very much, Ms. Huan. There are two questions for you. I will first answer the first question. The first question is about well, the first question, let me repeat. How can we improve the quality of life for elderly people through silver economy? Okay, I get it. Just now, you mentioned a figure about 300 million elderly people. That's about 20% of the total population in China. So as a TCM company, Renhe is always committed to meeting the demands of elderly people for their health. So from the perspective of Renhe and from the standpoint of TCM, I would share with you the changes we've made. For example, macro speaking, the silver economy, the gray economy, what are the possibilities here? One, we must provide inclusive services and diverse services. So from this perspective, what we have been considering is that as a pharmaceutical and as a TCM company, how can we provide better services, that is, better drugs, better medicine, better cater to the needs of elderly people? So we have made the following changes. First, about the drug manual. Since the last year, according to national policies, we promote no barrier reading. You know, the elderly people, it's hard for them to to understand the manual. But TCM has its own requirements on like how much you take each time. So dose is very important, and sometimes wrong dose is taken. Then, based on national instructions, we have updated the manuals for over 50 drugs of our company. The feedback has been very positive, so we will continue doing this, providing accessible manual reading for our elderly people. And the second, some changes to our traditional Chinese medicine. Let me give you an example. For example, some elderly people take pills, and sometimes it's not that easy to take capsules for elderly people. So since the last year, we changed some drugs, for example, from large capsules, from large particles, and we provide some new drugs that you can directly take, or you melt it with hot water, so as to satisfy the new demands of elderly people. And these are some minor changes by Renhe, and this is what I want to share with you from the perspective of a pharmaceutical company. How can we adapt to the new market situation? And I think this is innovation for the market. And from the perspective of silver economy, there's a lot more we can do to better embrace the age of silver economy. And in the meantime, you just mentioned that through the changes you made, the elderly people, when they encounter problems, have better and more convenient ways. So the second question is, how can you promote industrial integration development through silver economy? Well, for this question, still as a pharmaceutical company, especially in TCM, first we have to distinguish between, we need to think about how can we achieve better results through industrial development. Well, since the early stage, we have been thinking about how can we provide more lifestyles for our elderly people. In the early start, elderly people tended to spend money for some basic needs in their daily life: clothing, shelter, eating. However, with economic development and with faster economic development in recent years, elderly people no longer consume money on just the basic needs, but on their own personal interests and on health And on healthcare, the core of true healthcare is not just about physiological demands. A more important aspect is about mindset, about attitude, because your mind is closely related with your body. So how can we better serve the needs of elderly people? I think this is the opportunity for the silver economy. I would also like to introduce to you that because the company is headquartered in Yichun, Jiangxi, and there's a place which is called the capital of drug. And it's the millennium-old city for medicines and for drugs. And this city is also included in the list of intangible cultural heritage. So based on the tradition of this millennium-old city, and you know, the guest besides us also comes from Jiangxi, and Yichun is also a nice place. After thousands of years of development, the TCM culture takes roots here, and Renhe is also headquartered in Jiangxi, Jiangsu. And our factory
is a tourist site with an area of 90,000 square meter. We also have the garden style visit site, the exhibition of our culture. Last year, the site has been rated as a 4A scenic spot. This is one advantage of Renhe. Last year, we launched a new project. This project is about how we are able to combine TCM and tourism and well-being to benefit the mental and the physical health of the elderly population, which is the core philosophy of this project. Many elderly people are living in this migratory bird manner. They travel to many places. They spend the winter in Hainan province. Then how we are able to provide the physical therapies, the medicines, the products, the prescription service, and we are building an integrated system for such kind of service. We have our own pain treatment clinics, as well as the clinics with master TCM doctors, as well as rehabilitation centers. How it's about is to provide a good experience of the elderly, and while being educated with TCM knowledge by integrating different industries, we're able to find or identify new breakthroughs and new opportunities for the silver economy. Silver economy is not something that could be done by one company. We will need the joint efforts of all players in the industry. The future silver economy is incorporated into our strategic designing in the next 2 or 3 decades, which represent the heydays of silver economy. We are trying to develop different strategies for the milestones on this timeline. Thank you very much. Let me summarize. And Renhe is preparing for the integrated development with tourism, well-being industry. Together with the TCM. My next question goes to BGI. Mr. Li, you are also from the industry. What is your take on the aging society? You've done a lot of studies around this topic. Thank you, Madam Huan. I worked for 28 years in a research institute under the government. One important work is to conduct surveys, educate, disclose information to the public, as well as provide recommendations to government's decision-making. We've done a survey together with insurer, elderly care property companies, and the result of the survey is very alarming. We have derived two groups of data from the survey. One is the war against aging. There are two groups of data. The first is it took UK 80 years in aging society, 60 for US, and you can guess. What about China? 18 years into an aging society. At the end of 2017, to put it in simple words, the dependency ratio is 1 to 3. In 2025, it will be 1 to 2. And such a dependency ratio will continue to the end of the century. One suggestion we provide is we should follow the idea of the three battles. The first, resolution of major risks, precision, poverty alleviation. Third, pollution treatment. Since the 18th Party Congress. In China, the society is aging before it is well off. It is a long-term, protracted, difficult battle for the whole society in China to tackle the aging population. Let's put it into perspective as we are talking about silver economy here. It is also called the longevity era. Several years ago, during the COVID pandemic, the central government introduced the plan for national health during the 14th Five-Year Plan, noting that by 2035, the life expectancy is over 80 years old. What does it mean by over 80 years old? More than 1,010 years ago, a people died at the age of 80. The name of this person is God, who is also known as a god. And the party announced to the world, in the future, all Chinese people will become a god with longevity, with a long life expectancy. To quote Wang Jie, the chairman of BGI, you know your own DNA. You should be the responsible person of your own health. To be frank, in order to be healthy and be able to enjoy the longevity, actually I followed the development of genomics studies for 25 years, then I joined the BGI group. Why we should take the autonomy in the management of our own health? Let me elaborate on it. How should we look at the matter of life? 70 years ago, this spiral structure of DNA, this dual spiral structure of DNA was discovered, represented by ABCD, 4 letters. I attended a seminar at the Central Party School. Just now, there was a book about the academia, research, industry, government. And in this book, it is about what kind of society we are building. Actually, the evolution of the society is accompanied by the discovery of the evolution of life, including protein and DNA. Our understanding of life is more profound than before, and it is a part of our daily life, DNA testing for pregnant women to avoid the congenital diseases. If a body suffered from cancer, a DNA test will be carried out to determine the type of the cancer. So I would like to use 5 precisions to recap. In order to be 100 years old, you should remember these 5 precision: precision prevention, precision nutrition, precision exercise, precision medicine, and in the end, precision health. There is a red line going through the whole process, which is called precise testing, including DNA test and imaging test, to be able to live long. So the 4 precision are the preconditions for us to have a healthy life. To embrace the aging society, we are not far away from the era that everybody will live for 100 years. And the Family Health News is a state-owned newspaper, and I would like to share with you one idea. Now we have autonomous underlying technologies. DNA technology is one of it. Speaking of health, it's not only a short link, but also a zero. Whether we have a moderate, well-off society without health, everything is invalid. So everybody should describe your own DNA map, which is an underlying part of your life. How many smartphones did you own before? I want to ask you this question. You can't recall. And what's the price of the smartphone, of your smartphone? 5,000 to 6,000 yuan? I would like to share with you this fact. While you are describing an underlying map of your DNA, 40 times of your DNA sequence, it will disclose the potential risks to 2,000 diseases. Your nutrition, your exercise. So you will only spend 6,000 yuan for learning all this information, but for 800 types of diseases, it's only more than 800 yuan. Such kind of services are available on JD. And it's like the CPC who oppose the service to the people and the people-centered pathway to modernization. We have a very strong party leadership, and in the end, we should have the confidence to build a healthy society. Thank you, Mr. Li, for sharing with us your observations and insights. Then we know that we are going to shift from disease treatment centered to giving priority to prevention. Health is our individual responsibility so that we can enjoy healthy aging. If we are going to, there are new requirements for cities and facilities because of an aging population. Mr. Wei, you are from a property development company and a consultant for many cities. Can you share with us your understanding that what are the industries that will rise and what kind of needs that the consumers have in this aging society? And we are a consulting company. Over the last 113 years, we provide industries and companies with strategic consulting services in their business operations around the world. The speakers are also from the companies that are the clients of the company. Today, we are addressing a very interesting topic. From a consulting company, we look at industry development, investment, talent, as well as supporting facilities such as property service. I worked at the company for 25 years for the R&D centers, office selections, and factory selections at Cushman and Wakefield. And in the past years, local governments have a high reliance on their land economy, and we can see that land as a production factor has undergone a lot of changes in their value. For a government, they need to have industries, the contents, the talents to drive forward the local economic development. Like Jing said, in 11 we provide services to 35 cities in terms of investment and trade promotion. Over the last few years, life science, health and well-being and silver economy are also important topics for the company. We have surveyed the multinational companies in terms of their equipment, facility, pharmaceutical product. We reviewed their investment strategies and the challenges they face in the Chinese market. The theme of this panel discussion is very interesting for us. We look at industrial development from the perspective of land. Now
let me give you an example. We once interviewed some Nordic enterprises. You know, the Nordic countries are rich in economy and they are doing very well in supporting the elderly people. But within China, when we mention the silver economy, we have been talking about this for a while, but we have yet to be mature. And the interviewed multinationals from Nordic countries, they mentioned that China was a world factory, and they also mentioned that they expect that China's policies, because policies are very key here. Many enterprises specialize in equipment, pharmaceuticals, but care from the national perspective, as regard with policy, China still needs to catch up, be it drug purchase or the list of healthcare insurance. The policy is not mature. Most of the efforts focus on treatment. We talk about people-centered, we talk about putting lives first, so most of the time we are talking about treatment. However, silver economy is also a prominent topic. So, if the Chinese government could give more preference for care, and if the Chinese government could update its principles, then some advanced methodologies and some better practices can be more quickly introduced into China. And another issue lies in talent, because there is a declining number of young people. So in care, we need young people, and we need passionate young people, and we need their care for the elderly people. So young people, the training of young people is a key task for us. And third, for industrial development, most of the time is capital-driven. Recently, a big U.S. private equity company, I visited his CEO the other day, and we talked we talked about the elderly care, and this U.S. private company has already established 200 elderly care houses in China, and they want to build more. And our task is location selection, and their challenge is to win certificate. And they need to gain government approval. So the complex process has influenced their speed. And talent is also a key challenge. And they also need to gain returns more quickly. So how can they achieve scale development in China? They need capital, they need young people. So our expectation is that the U.S. company needs to better understand China's policies, China's regulation environment. And in the meantime, every province, every city, there are opportunities. I've been thinking too, how can we help internationals to gain their foothold in China with greater confidence so as to bring in China their better practices, better products. And the Chinese market needs to be flexible and resilient. So this is what I want to say from the perspective of capital and from the perspective of talent. There's a lot more we can do, and under the background of new quality productive forces and the Chinese modernization, despite the complex environment, China offers certainties. And I believe that our explorations, the silver economy, the elderly care, the mental health of young people and the pharmaceutical companies, we are working towards the same goal. So as a consultant company, I call for the society to pay more attention to the elderly people, and also we need to encourage our young people to work in this industry, and we also need more capital input, and we need to be open-minded about the future of this company. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wei, because today I know that many of representatives today are entrepreneurs. I know that you are very experienced in optimizing local business environment. So could you give us some ideas that we need to take care when we optimize the business environment? Well, this is an extra question. To be straightforward, because I myself care about the continued investment of multinationals in China. So I spent a long time studying the opportunities of these multinationals and their localization strategies. I have searched many cases so as to provide reference for the investment of multinationals in China. I think a keyword here is market-driven, because for enterprises, market is a place where we can gain returns. From the perspective of governments, with economic decline, the government hopes the government is eager to welcome in more foreign direct investment. So I don't know if my suggestions are really workable, but my suggestion is that we need to identify the sources of problems. Yesterday, I visited Tianjin and met a local leader together with representatives from 13 companies from across different areas. And I also visited with my capital, and I also visited, and these companies also come from areas like real estate and investment capital. Well, governments are actually open for resources, but the key is we need to connect these different industries together. For example, government is the governments face challenges in terms of budgets. They don't have enough money in investing in some projects. So we can better take advantage of private sector opportunities. For example, yesterday in Tianjin, a local entrepreneur is willing to cooperate with me. He told me that he had money and he had willingness, but he couldn't find a perfect angle to cooperate with government. Private enterprises are supported at the national level, but I believe that you all could identify with me the connection between governments and the prices is rather weak. It's still weak. Because private enterprises sometimes are maybe more flexible, and there are fewer connections between governments and the companies, and it's easier to establish connections between central enterprises and governments. So I encourage governments to establish a platform so that we can take advantage. We can take advantage of the private resources and bring different capabilities and technologies together. Then we stand together. That's the best way. But of course, sometimes the environment is different across different places. The process of decision making is different. But as I see, as we can identify really the sources of problems, then we can better collaborate with those private enterprises, because this will be a perfect match. And yesterday, the Tianjin local companies also had their own ideas how to better cooperate with state-owned enterprises, with central enterprises. As long as they have the idea, they can employ strategies. I don't think that this is perfect suggestion, but only my personal experience. Thank you very much. I want to ask Mr. Li, because you mentioned that the aging is actually 3 battles in one, so could you further explain this? Well, 3 battles in one. I know. I think it's a long battle, it's a sustained battle, it's a hard battle. But we are living in the age of longevity, and everyone decides his or her own health. Let me give you an example. The EAU implements the national gene plan so as to kill the disease before it happens. The UAE princess once said, one is prevention, one is treatment. Where shall UAE's investment go? Well, maybe it goes to prevention, because the UAE provides free health care for all. So to really win the long and hard battle in health care, we need planning. And 90% of health care happens at one's own home. Then at our own home, who we can depend on? Well, we can only rely on ourselves. The governments can only provide some help, but the destiny is in your hands. So we need to change our mind, to change our cognition. If we don't change our mindset, it will be difficult. For example, if I ask I tell you, for example, in gene testing, in silver economy, and in the future, I think silver economy is the future new quality productive forces. 80 years ago, when I worked in a news company, and that time I talked with Wang Chuanfu. Even today, when I look back at news, I can remember what Wang Chuanfu said. He said that in 2015, the NEV accounted for 1.3% of the Chinese auto market, and this would be a turning point. Wang Chuanfu is very confident because he pointed out Clean air, global warming, and food safety are three challenges. So developing NEV is beneficial for both international and domestic well-being. And last year, we see NEV accounted for 34% of the Chinese auto market. So I would also like to share with you that gene technology and gene editing covers about. You know, gene editing is necessary for pregnant women before their delivery. This is no official statistics. Well, gene testing now covers only about 5 to 7.5% of Chinese people. This only starts. Last year, the U.S. White House has issued measurable goals for biotechnologies. And in the future, the cost of gene testing will be further reduced. This means a digital transformation for our health, for our life, so that we can better understand our future. So today, I think we are fighting a battle, but in the future, we face opportunities. I don't know if I answered your question. Thank you very much. I believe that through today's discussion, we can discover more opportunities. Well, I would like to invite Mr. Wang. Could you share with us, are there some changes to the consumption of elderly people? When we develop relevant products and services, how we can use technology to better address these changes? Thank you very much. I'm Wang Mingming from the Winter International Group. It's my pleasure to be invited by the CCPIT to the thematic event on healthy life. In cross-border e-commerce, I've been promoting the global sales of some consumer goods, and I have been working in this field for over 10 years. When I first knew what I would say here today, well, I had a lot of thinking. Among the elderly people, because I once lived in Los Angeles for a long time, I'm thinking, what is the definition of silver group? I did a search. I think the definition in China refers to those aged over 60. Then I was wondering, why is 60? Well, it is said because these people aged over 60 are retired.
So I'd like to share with you a story about cross-border trade at the China-U.S. Cross-border Trade Association. There are senior experts from China and the U.S. In the association, there is advisor Charles Sullivan. He is in his 80s. Why we recruit him as a consultant? Because he is one of the senior member of the Football Association, and who have also provided us with a lot of suggestions for going global of Chinese companies, especially the local development in overseas market. So at a dinner, he shared with us a story, the global development of Renhe company. He said 10 years ago, he suffered from a rare dermatological cancer, and the Western doctors ruled a death sentence. You only have 60 days and you will die. He stopped working. He was in his 70s then. He said he had a partner in Sichuan province. The woman said, maybe the prescriptions from China can treat your disease. There are 3 drugs. One is from Torrentang, which is made with a mushroom. He did not mention the specific name. Another one is from China's Taiwan, a plant-based TCM. And the third one is a Western medicine. 3 medicines together. He used it for several treatment periods, and he came back to the hospital. It seemed that the cancer was under control. This story happened 10 years ago, and he is 83 years old. He's still helping Chinese companies in their global development. Then the responsible person from Torrenttown learned about this story and asked this gentleman whether he can help with the going global efforts of Torrenttown. The brand of Torrenttown was sent to the Carnegie Music Hall, Concert Hall, which received repercussion from the Wall Street. And the Torrenttown said, "You will be the ambassador of our brand because our medicine treated your disease." And this gentleman is very wise and rented a store in the most expensive part of the street. He invited a lot of friends to do acupuncture. And this store is located in the 5th Avenue in New York, the most well-known, and the appointment should be made several months ahead. And the therapist is very well-known from China. The story I share with you is we are committed to made in China, manufactured in China, new quality productive force. We helped a lot of Chinese companies, but I did not reflected on this gentleman. He is 83 years old. He should be enjoying his retirement to travel around, play cards, do some line dancing on the square. My understanding is that the reason why he is so resilient as a survivor of cancer is because of his value to the society. Deep down in his heart, he still loves his career, his job, to promote the cultural exchanges and trade exchanges between China and U.S. He is still creating value for the society. I tell you this story because in the silver-haired groups we have a dozen consultants at the chamber. We have 40% of them who are elderly population. They're still creating a certain value in the society, in the cross-border trade, in the cross-border e-commerce trade. We have facilitated a lot of brands and companies go abroad from the Yangtze River Delta region and the Pearl River Delta region. Why they are successful? Because a lot of the business owners who were born after 1990s, they recruited a lot of senior consultant, silver hair consultant. Therefore, you can get some takeaways from this story. While creating a silver economy is not only about what we can create for them, but how the elderly population can create value for this society. I believe you followed the news of the presidential election in the U.S. I was frequently asked, do you think Trump will be re-elected? Biden and Trump are in their 80s, but they are still trying to make contributions to make America great again. They are members of the silver population, silver hair population. The contribution they have created for the society is much bigger than what the society provided to them. I am a young American from Chinese. But we have so many senior members, and they told me they would like to come back to China, but they don't have social insurance. We are not able to go to hospitals as we are not covered by the insurance scheme. According to statistics, we have 60 million Chinese overseas. 20% of them are elderly population. They want to come back to China. The request they made is, I don't know how I can come back to China.
80几岁的一个阿姨，我的阿姨，然后她呢
，and there is elderly woman who is trying to find an elderly a nursing home for the elderly. She spent 3 years, but she's still in Los Angeles. Before I can go back to the U.S., he sent me a message. I packed my luggage. I unpacked. I did not find a destination for myself. I have 3 treasures I will leave to you. I asked him, do you want me to care for you for your last years? So I would like to say that on the platform of China-U.S. E-Commerce Trade Association, we have a foundation which is dedicated to helping overseas Chinese and overseas businesses to develop the silver economy in China. We are able to provide them with a bridge, a platform, a starting point. Thank you for sharing with us your ideas that we should delve deeper into tap into their needs. One sentence for the outlook of silver economy. I want to emphasize we are building a bridge. So for U.S.-China E-Commerce Trade Association and the Lelin Chuangzhi Foundation is ready to work with experts and professors in China to make contributions to the development of a silver economy. Mr. Yang, just now, I expressed my outlook for the future. So we would like to work with partners in the upstream and downstream to serve the elderly population by providing them with the best services. We are able to prove our social responsibilities. Thank you. We are Mr. Wei. In face of economic downturn, we should look at the blue chips companies and the emerging markets, ranging from companies to the care receivers. We would like to build a completely new supply chain to serve silver economy. I would like to quote a poem. 2 years ago, I joined the BGI. There is a mountain that is 2 kilometers away, where Ge became a god. I wrote a poem with each line containing 7 characters. Longevity is the dream for all people, as well as for Ge who is a nascent TCM practitioner. For companies like for the genetics scientists at BGI, they are developing solutions to serve the local people. Everybody can become a god in the heaven. We all envy the gods, which is a quotation from the Red Mansion. We should have early screening, early detection, early diagnosis and treatment, genome imaging technologies, on all essential technologies to carry forward this legend of longevity. And we control our own health. So the present, everybody can become gods enjoying longevity like go home. As the party announced that people are going to enjoy a healthy elderly life, we hope that we will be able to live to 99 years old. And I think with our panelists sharing with us their stories, ideas, and insights, they have depicted a blueprint for the future with both challenges and opportunities. And we also discussed the important aspects in the development of silver economy, but its development will require the concerted efforts of the government departments, enterprises, and individuals. Let's tap into the potential of silver economy to create a better living environment for the elderly.
女士们、先生们、各位来宾，经过这2个小时的深入交流与探讨，我们的活动已经接近尾声。在这里，我谨代表主办方中国国际商会对各位的经济参与与大力支持，表示由衷的感谢。在今天的活动
for your active participation and strong support. Today's event focuses on innovation empowers big health, intelligence leads new lifestyle, bringing together experts, scholars, and industry representatives in the field of health to explore the cutting-edge concepts and practical innovative experience. Last but not least, on behalf of the event organizer, I would like to thank the strategic partner of the Expo, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, the official partners, PICC, and the Bank of Communications and Wu Liangye Group for their strong support of the event. And thank you for all the staff for your hard work. And I would like to wish you all the best. After the conclusion of this event, we are going to have an event hosted by the Medical and Health Industry Committee of the China Chamber of International Commerce. Now I would like to hand over to Mr. Lin Shenghong, Deputy Director of the Trade Promotion Center of the China Chamber of International Commerce and the Secretary General of the Medical and Health Industry Committee.
CGTN.
Thank you, the host from CGTN. Thank you, Ms. Zhao Yang. And I also like to thank you for your continued participation, for joining the committee. The committee event will include 2 sessions. Just now we focused on the trends in the healthcare industry and our common actions. And in this committee working meeting, we will focus on the work summary and the progress in the focused work. I believe that this work committee will be impressive too, because I know you care much about whether we have programs or not. I see that the event is prepared. We have